All right, it's baby shark. Daddy shark. All right, go ahead.
The maximum fine allowed by law for a person who intentionally or neglectingly introduces a pest is.
So someone who introduces a pest will have a $25,000 fine. Ad code 5028.
Which wouldn't you look up for fire ant inspection?
Gin trash.
If a pest must be treated on private property, the expense would fall on the
Owner.
sweet potatoes from Texas need what to enter CA?
So sweet potatoes from Texas are not allowed to enter California.
Cotton imported into California needs to be.
Cotton imported into California needs to be compressed to 22 pounds per bale.
What is not caused by a fungus?
Citrus canker is not caused by a fungus.
Paradox is a rootstock for.
Paradox is a rootstock for walnuts.
A nematode was found in field nursery stock on 40 feet grid. You sample again on 20-foot grid and find nothing. You should.
Release considered safe, commercially clean.
Which is not a restricted weed? Italian thistle, Canada thistle, quackgrass, field bindweed.
You like the quackgrass, huh?
Yeah, I do.
Well, it's not restricted, so you're good. The Canada thistle is restricted, so no Canadian thistle for you.
Wait, are you sure about that? It says which one is not restricted.
Which one is not
You said
restricted?
this one is.
Oh, yeah. The Canada thistle, good catch, is not restricted. All the other ones, the quackgrass included, are restricted. Okay, good catch. Thank you.
Trash removal in a field to be fumigated for planting nursery stock should be considered.
Essential.
Aerated steam in closed chamber shall reach.
Aerated steam in closed chambers shall reach 140 degrees Fahrenheit for not less than 30 minutes. 140 degrees Fahrenheit, not less than 30 minutes.
In a lot of 40 bags of seed, the official sample size is 4, 6, 9, or 11.
9. 6 or less, sample all. If it's greater than 6, then 5 more than 10%. 5 more than 10% if greater than 6 in the sample.
For a lot of 460 bags of seed, the official sample size is
30.
AXR1, 110R, 1613, and 99R are all rootstocks of roses, citrus, grapes, fruit trees.
Grapes.
Lovell, Nimagard, Mazard, and Myrobalan are rootstocks for tree fruit cultures, or apple rootstock.
They are of tree fruits. So I'll go ahead and restate that. Lovell, Nemagard, Mazard, and Myrobalan are rootstock for tree fruits.
Which is not considered advertisement, invoice, posters, or tags not attached to seed.
Invoice.
For which of the following is a license to sell nursery stock not required? Cut flowers, roses, cut Christmas trees, corn bowls, pigs.
So the cut Christmas trees does not require the license.
Imported fire ant is not quarantined for.
Cotton lint.
What indicates the presence of a copper beetle?
Many larvae and larval cases.
Where are you most likely to find Colorado potato beetle on tomato plants from Colorado?
Larvae feeding on foliage, adults feeding on foliage.
Which weed is a pest of?
Ear corn.
Unshu oranges are prohibited entry into the U.S. from Japan due to?
Xanthomonas citri. So Xanthomonas citri.
Where would you find which weed?
North and South Carolina.
Bare root apple trees from Maryland should be?
Inspected, and if findings are negative, released.
Chestnut trees from New York State should be?
Rejected and sent back.
Shipment of plants from Hawaii should be?
Admitted if they have a certificate of fumigation.
We are interested in against this Randolph losis similis in what?
Citrus. Next.
Which is a selected host for Radiopholus similis burrowing?
So Radiopholus similis burrowing nematode. Best host is going to be the banana and Anthurium citrus.
A shipment of chestnuts from Italy should be?
There are no restrictions on foreign chestnuts.
Elm tree diseases are associated with pest, fungus, and insect, virus, and insect, fungus, and virus. None.
So elm tree disease. The diseases are associated with fungus and virus. So elm tree diseases, fungus and virus.
Which committee is not restricted under Mexican fruit fly interior quarantine?
The lemon and sour limes commodities are not restricted under the Mexican fruit fly interior quarantine.
The Ag Commissioner is considered to be?
A state plant quarantine officer.
Pineapple and bananas are primary host for?
Oriental fruit fly.
Ozynium root rot is caused by?
A fungus.
Sweet potato quarantine is against?
Convolvulus.
Pink bollworm overwinters as?
Larva.
A fumoscope is used for?
Accurately measures the concentration of fumigant gas in a space under fumigation.
Philodendrons shipped from Michigan State, which originated in Florida, must have?
Burrowing nematode certificates must be with shipments of philodendrons from Michigan State. Go ahead.
Under the citrus pest quarantine, oranges may be accepted from?
Oranges from Arizona are acceptable.
A nurseryman contacts you and requests information regarding a shipment of plants he wishes to ship to Japan. Which reference would you find this information?
The summary of foreign regulation is going to be the place where you find that information.
Cedar apple rust quarantine is established against?
Apple and juniper. The cedar apple rust quarantine is established against apple and juniper. Interesting.
What state is not included in Colorado potato beetle quarantine?
Nevada State is not included in the Colorado potato beetle quarantine.
Japanese beetle mouth parts are considered to be?
Chewing.
What is the vertebrate pest that is a popular pet in the eastern U.S. and resembles native kangaroo rat?
Mongolian gerbil.
Most fruit flies
Pupate.
Pupate in
Soil. Most fruit flies pupate in soil.
the authority to make quarantine inspections come from.
The authority to make quarantine inspections comes directly from the Ag Code.
Phloem necrosis of elm is a bacteria, virus, fungus, or nematode.
Phloem necrosis of elm is a virus.
Who has an authority under the California Ag Code to import predaceous insects for the purpose of biological control?
The director has the authority to import predaceous insects for the purpose of biological control. For example, the wasps with the glassy wing sharpshooter egg masses. I told you about that. Yeah, go ahead.
Most adult fruit flies feed by
Piercing the skin of ripe fruits and sucking the juices.
What is the USDA doing in Taiwan to combat the spread of Mexican fruit flies?
Well, in Tijuana, the USDA is enforcing strict quarantine regulations against produce from infested areas of Mexico.
Who is responsible for inspection and certification of growing grounds for post-entry quarantine?
State entomologists with the USDA is responsible for inspection and certification of growing grounds for post-entry quarantine.
The term parthenogenesis is associated with
White-fronted beetle.
fumigation is an accepted treatment for
Burrowing nematode.
a shipment of Irish potatoes from an area infested with Colorado potato beetle.
Is admissible if washed free of soil and in clean bag.
What causes bruising disease of walnut?
Virus-like disease.
Golden nematode is a pest of
Irish potatoes.
which species of bird is prohibited? European starling, skylark, eagle, or none?
All. The European starling, skylark, eagle are all species that are prohibited.
California quarantine.
California quarantine is a guide for operation and enforcement of the agricultural code.
Japanese beetle feeds on
Japanese beetle feeds on nearly 300 hosts, over 250 hosts.
500 pounds cherries to be treated at number 2 at 1000 cu feet chamber, not to be filled more than 50%. Chamber measures 10 times 8 times 15. How many pounds of MB would be needed?
2.4. I like that one. You do all the work.
Methyl bromide is
So methyl bromide is an odorless. It is odorless. It boils at low temperatures and is 3 times heavier than air.
phostoxin is reactive with
Phostoxin is reactive with copper alloys.
Anthrog is also Citrus medico severina.
Citrus medico is also anthrog.
A boring nematode host is
Sweet potato is going to be a burrowing nematode host.
which of the following is not included in the oak wilt quarantine? Chestnuts, cuttings, and seasons of chestnuts, chinkapin, lumber, or none?
Chestnuts, lumber, None. None of the following is included in the oak wilt quarantine. We're gonna stop here at slide 325. It's a little over 15 minutes.